It's Happy Hour again from Uptown New Orleans. Hello, I'm Grant Morris. Happy Hour is part of the family of shows on the podcast network. It's neworleans.com. When you walk into a bar in New Orleans and you pull up a bar stool, you never know who's going to be sitting on either side of you. What you do know is no matter what they look like, what they're wearing, whether they just got out of a limousine or just got out of jail, they're going to be happy to talk to you because that's New Orleans and this is Happy Hour, a cocktail-fueled 60 minutes of random conversation with folks who have nothing in common. Other than that, we're all New Orleanians in a bar today. We're at the fabulous Wayfare on Ferret Street, which is a couple of blocks down from Napoleon Avenue. And they have a 4-hour happy hour here every day. It used to be 3 hours, and they added an hour to it. From 3 to 7, you can get half-price drinks. Check that out, Laura. What do you think of that?
I think that sounds great.
Thank you. Half-price drinks, and appetizers are all half-price as well, from 4 to 7 at Wayfare on Ferret Street. If you'd just like to hang out for the next hour, we're going to be here for 60 minutes, hanging out, having a few drinks as well. I'm Grant Morris, as I mentioned, and these are my fabulous guests sitting around the table. The Other Cajun Jew is here. Alex Bowen. How's it going? We had the first Cajun Jew from Live Nation a few weeks ago.
Alex Rosen.
Alex Rosen. And so I said to her, are there any other Cajun Jews in New Orleans? And she said, yes, there is one more, and I work with him, and his name is also Alex.
And we went to the same high school and didn't know each other.
How weird is that?
Pretty strange.
That is totally strange.
Yeah.
You went to the same high school in Lafayette.
In Lafayette, Louisiana, St. Thomas More. God's servants first. Shout out.
God's servants first. That was the name of the slogan of the school?
Yeah, that was the motto, if you will.
God's servants first.
Yeah.
And Vince Ebeir is here from Spylights. Vince,
Hey,
what school did you go to?
Oh, what school didn't I go to? No, I mean high school. I went to Crescent City Baptist, Ecole Classique, Curtis, Grace King.
Did any of them have a slogan?
Not really.
I don't remember having a slogan.
We weren't that cool.
Roman Duffar is here from Spylights as well. He's a guitar player in Spylights. Roman, what school did you go to?
What's up, Brother Martin High?
And what's their slogan?
I couldn't tell you there was a slogan.
Laura Sanders is here too. Laura,
Yes,
hi, how are you doing?
I'm great.
Laura's a comedian.
It's true.
So can you say something funny to kick off things?
I mean, I think I'll say several funny things throughout the
As
hour.
we go, but you can't
That's
think
my
of
goal. I mean,
do you have a kickoff joke? Like anyone here from out of town or anything like that?
I think if people want like a solid bit, they can just buy my album.
The album is called... That was called
Oh God, Please Like Me.
Oh God, Please Like Me. That's funny.
Plug. Yeah.
It's close to your school.
Yeah.
Which is God's children.
God's servants first.
God's servants first.
God's servants
That's so
first.
catchy.
Girls like me.
God's servants first. What does that mean, I wonder? First what?
I was the only Jewish student during my time there, so I didn't pay too much attention.
So the other Cajun Jew went there after you.
Yes.
So you're older than her.
I am.
It's funny you should mention age because the first thing in your bio that they sent me, it says Alex Bowen is the youngest senior talent buyer in Live Nation Entertainment's club and theater division.
Yes.
That's the best thing they can say about you.
I know. That's
Isn't that weird?
It's a little strange.
I thought so too. Wouldn't you think? It's the first thing that lead off. The company
yeah,
says
this guy's
Live
out of
Nation, one of
place.
the biggest companies in the country, says about one of their talent buyers is that he's the youngest, not the best looking or the tallest or the smartest or the most effective, but
the youngest.
So how old are the other guys?
Most of the other guys are there's two that are in like 39, and everyone else is older, 40s, 50s.
Well, how old are you?
I'm 32.
32. That's not that young, is it?
Definitely not.
Is it?
Gray hair's coming in strong. I'm balding.
Well,
yeah.
You'd love to be 32 again, wouldn't you?
I'm
Laura?
exactly 32.
You are 32
yes.
right now.
Yeah, we're
Exactly.
both in the grave.
Come on, you got one
All
foot on a
going
banana
downhill from
skin.
here.
So what school did you go to, Laura?
I went to Notre Dame Academy, which is in Toledo, Ohio.
Toledo,
so
Ohio. And did it have a slogan?
Women of Vision.
Oh, so it did.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I have to write that one down too. God's servants first and then women of vision. Do you know what that one meant?
I mean, I think just looking forward women.
Was it only a girls' school?
Yes, luckily. It wasn't like we hate the boys here. It was just an all-girls
But
school.
it was an all-girls school?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
that
it
would
made
be much
sense.
better if there were guys as well.
I would
That
love
was-
it if they're just like women of vision, men of
Yeah.
they go here.
Right.
And that's it.
So when did you realize you were funny?
Oh, I mean, I like to think I knew my whole life, but I started doing it professionally out of college.
But were you like a
So-
class clown and the
No, I was a theater kid. I was like a speech team nerd.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
debate?
Yeah, but like not debate, not like the really good intelligent stuff like debate, like impromptu speaking and little acting things.
Really?
Yes.
We didn't have that at our school. Did you have that at your school, Alex?
Yeah, we did.
God's
Speech
servants?
team?
We did a speech team.
Were you in that?
No, I was in. They did bowling team.
Oh,
You're
I
on
always
the-
want to do bowling.
Yeah, senior year they added that. I was like, okay, we're gonna go get to bowl every
You're
other day for
bowling
free.
team.
Sweet.
Okay.
What's the highest you ever bowled?
Like a 188.
Okay, that's-
nothing crazy.
That's high.
That's
So
solid.
what's your top score then, Laura?
I think once I got 112, and once as a child, and I've never gone
Vince,
back
you a bowler?
over 100.
I love to bowl. I haven't bowled in forever, but I can't
think
even
100.
remember.
I think 100 would be good.
Yeah,
Myself, if
100's
I
Oh
could
yeah,
get
you
100.
break triple digits.
Roman, you a bowler?
Yeah, I used to actually bowl in a league, but not for school. But I had like a 135 average. You know.
So, dude, you're good, Alex. Especially for Jews, don't expect them to be good sports.
Especially, bowling. I mean,
Right, it's not a Jewish
Definitely,
sport.
yeah.
So
I don't know what it is as far as like
what
ethnicity
what
or religion
ethnicity
is
is
good
a
at bowling.
bowling?
Or where it comes from as far as like culturally. I don't know what bowling.
Well, that's why
I
we
think
have
it's
C-Rock will tell you that in just 1 minute. Where does bowling come from? I'd say it's Greek.
Guys that like to drink beer and smoke
Greek.
cigarettes.
I'd
that
say
sounds
Greek.
Like
Yeah.
the Greek gods just.
It's probably an Olympic sport. We just didn't know about it.
Bowling.
Yeah.
So how many Jews in Lafayette are there? I think I asked the other Cajun Jew that.
There's about
She
like
didn't.
30 families.
30 families. And how could you not have known the Rosen family?
I think if I recall correctly, Alex is half Jewish, whereas
You're the real deal.
Yeah, I'm real deal.
So
Bar mitzvah confirmed.
The whole thing.
Oh, I got my Star of David on. Yeah.
You have it on right now?
Oh, yeah.
You do, really?
Yeah.
I see you're seriously Jewish. You take it seriously?
Yeah.
So where are we now in the Jewish calendar? It's just after...
57 something.
Right, but what time of the year? Is like past Yom Kippur and now we're up to... what's next?
I believe
Christmas, Hanukkah.
Oh yeah, Hanukkah is going to be always a good
Right.
time. My mom usually tells me what I have to do.
So that's what someone in the family has to be responsible. So what was it
Absolutely.
like growing up Jewish in Lafayette when everyone's mostly Catholic and conservative pretty much?
It was different. That's for sure.
Did you feel like an outsider?
In a way, but it was in a good way because I was like, these people they don't get it.
What don't they get exactly?
I mean, I just felt like obviously it's different views. We believe in the Old Testament. So I just had a different outlook than everyone.
Did you believe in it then?
Yeah.
So you took it seriously and you thought everybody else was wrong and you were
I mean, I
you were
didn't-
the
I
one
didn't-
guy that was right.
I didn't necessarily think they were wrong. I just thought I had an enlightened opinion, and
But everybody else must be wrong, surely, though.
yeah, I guess you could say that.
That's an interesting thought as a kid. Most kids would think, they were the odd one out and everybody else was right and you were the freak. Why do I have to be Jewish? Because I'm the freak.
I got Christmas and Hanukkah, so I thought I was pretty special.
And did you get to not have to go to like Bible class or anything?
No, I took religion in high school.
You did?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to go see the Passion of the Christ with the whole school.
And what'd you think?
It was a great movie.
Did you see that, Laura?
I knew how it was going to end, though. I mean,
Pretty good. Okay, so now you're the talent buyer at the House of Blues. And are you? And
well, so my
The Varsity.
coworker, David Magazine, he's taking over House of Blues for the most part. And then Michelle. Go ahead.
so what are you going to be doing?
So I'm focusing on the Fillmore and our third-party stuff, which is shows at Sanger. We just had Kevin Gates at the Baton Rouge River Center, and
So
just
you're the guy who books bands.
yeah,
So do you know these guys are in a band, Spylights?
that's what I hear.
Yeah, so I'm going to have them play a couple of songs as an audition for you, and if that works
Awesome.
out, can you just
Said
book anyone you
audition.
want?
If it's gonna make money, potentially, yeah.
Yeah, but is there a formula? Like, they have to have a record out and they have to have sold out a number of places already? Or?
I mean, there's a formula for bands to go on tour and touring cycles. I've managed a handful of bands, which that's my passion now. I don't really have time to dabble in that world. But as far as like on a local level, yeah, it's selling out a place like Gossa Gossa before you go to a place like One Eyed Jacks, or before you go to somewhere like us, and basically you're building up your story.
to get to the Fillmore, which is our brand new event space in
there's
Harris Casino.
Oh, not in Harris Casino. On
It's
top
not
of it.
in Harris Casino.
Top, yeah.
Oh, we have to make sure that we don't say it's in Harris Casino. Is that part of the deal?
Not necessarily. It's just
It is in Harris Casino, isn't it?
well, we leased the property from Caesars.
Okay, so it's nothing to do with Harris Casino.
other than us leasing the second floor of their building now.
Okay, so can you walk through the casino to get to it?
There is like a VIP entrance, but we have our own stairwell. We have our own box
Okay.
office, which is why we're able to go all ages.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So it's not connected to Harris Casino in any way other than it's in the same building.
Other than it being on top of.
Oh, that's interesting and confusing.
Yeah. So it's been we've had to do a little education.
Yeah, right. Okay, so the first band that's coming is Duran Duran.
They're actually the second band.
Who's the first?
2 nights of the Foo
Oh,
Fighters.
it's the Foo Fighters. Right. The Foo Fighters are sold out.
Yeah.
And is Duran Duran sold out?
The first night we're almost sold out, and then we just announced the second night, and that's selling really well. And then we just announced Coheed in Cambria, which is actually now the day before.
I'll be there.
Yep.
You've got tickets already?
I'm getting them Friday when they go
I'll
on
be
sale.
on it.
All right. Exciting.
So-
I might
does
have a
have the
pre-sale
most-
code I can hook you up with.
Oh, yes,
Oh
you know
my
it.
gosh.
I'm
Yeah.
a huge Coheed fan.
Okay.
Massive.
Don't you feel
Yeah.
he has the most like voice to body ratio difference of any
There's
man you've ever
something
seen?
about
Like,
Claudio to me that is just so different than most singers. Like it's when you hear him, you know who it is.
Oh, yeah.
B, he's obviously not afraid to be a little bit different, and the way he curves his words is. I'm a big fan of Daryl Palumbo from Glassjaw as
love
well,
Glassjaw.
and the way that he curves his words, he just throws them correctly, and he knows when to be soft and pretty, and he knows when to belt. And I've always been a fan of Coheed.
yeah.
Well, you're a singer as well, so you're paying
Yes.
attention to all this kind of stuff.
Everything, especially vocalists. It's the first thing I hear really when I listen to music, but
It's the lyrics or the way the lyrics are delivered.
both. It can't
Really?
be just one or the other. It's incomplete if not, Like
Right.
you could be saying absolutely nothing and singing them in perfect pitch with good technique and it doesn't really do anything for me. But or vice versa, you could be singing them horrible, but if I like what you're saying and I like your energy behind it, then I'm sold.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be like perfect, it just has to be real.
Do you guys
Authentic.
have vocal pet peeves? Like when you hear a singer do a certain thing, you're like, okay, shut it down. I can't listen to this person anymore.
Yeah, I guess it all goes back to technique for me. And I'm not saying that everybody's perfect and everybody's got to roll with their own voice and how they sing, not try to be like anybody else. But there's a couple of things that get me. Well, like if singers are a little too nasally, if they're not singing with proper technique and it sounds a little bit, bundled up in there, that kind of gets me. Or if someone's not opening their mouth when they're singing and they're trying to like they're a ventriloquist singing,
You have one, Laura. You sound like you have a pet.
This isn't a pet peeve, but it's just something I noticed that every singer, I was like really into emotional singer-songwriters in high school, as every girl that graduated in 2004 high school was. And there's like a thing like the sexy inhale that singers do where they like take a break in the middle of the song, they close their eyes and they inhale really hard into the microphone.
Yeah.
And that's something like as a high school student, I was like, oh my gosh, she's so emotional. And now I'm like, ooh, that's cheesy. And I can
You have a
always
couple
hear
examples?
Okay.
I like Jack Johnson. It comes to mind as like the
Jackson, man.
like just he does a lot of the like, or like Jason Mraz, they do a lot of the like, girl, let me pause for a minute and breathe in you, and
Yeah.
that's very
He also uses a lot of percussive elements on his guitar while he's playing. It's so awesome. Jack Johnson is the man when it comes to that type of stuff.
yeah.
What's your pet peeve, Alex?
The high-pitched emo kind of thing. I was...
The voice breaking type.
Oh,
I swear to God, I told you now.
You just hit the nail on the...
Like that.
Yeah.
The prepubescent, I'm mad at you, Dad voice.
100% spot on.
Okay. Hey, Vince, what about playing a song for us then?
Okay, we'll try and make it not too
Okay,
emo,
Roman,
because
grab
this
the
is an
guitar.
audition after all.
So tell us something about Spylights, because Spylights is the new band, and then also after we finish the song, you have to come back and tell us about this new project that you've got. Which
I would
is
love to. I would absolutely be honored
What's the
to.
name of the company?
Give It Hell Promotions.
Give It Hell Promotions.
Yes, I'm a
This
partner
is sort
in
of
Give
in
It
your
Hell.
wheelhouse as well.
We're a 501c3 nonprofit, and we just basically help local bands out by booking touring acts, and we do artist development where bands need it the most.
All right. We'll get onto that after the song. But first of all, tell us something a little bit about Spylights. So Spylights is your new band.
After I got out of the Scorsese's,
You guys smell that, by the way? Is something on fire?
It's delicious.
What is
Smells
that?
like-
Maybe I'm just hungry.
Is it a fire?
They turn
It
the
is a
heat
fire.
on.
Yeah,
It's the heater.
It's that
Ah,
central
okay.
heat.
Okay.
But after Scorsese's disbanded, I ended up spending like 3 years writing nothing but songs after song after song after song. I probably got about 40 in the bank already, and I'm still writing every day. And just as of recent, I've gotten a full band full of members. It was like searching for people that weren't there for a year. It felt like 2
Right.
years, and now we finally have a team. And we got 4 songs down, almost 5. We're ready to start opening shows soon enough, probably January, February, because I'm not going to do it until we're super tight,
Okay, so this is a sort of a preview.
Yeah,
Of
and
what's
this is a
going
song kind of about how society and the world's viewing things today and how love needs to take precedent.
All right, what's it called?
All right. I wish that I could slow down the whirlwind of pain outside of my front door every day. If there was another way, I'd shout it to the top of my lungs, directly into the flames of hate. With The only way to combat ignorance is to look inside the mirror and say, maybe it's me that has lost his way. Then we could move on like a civilized human race, instead of letting the media control and fuck with your mind. 'Cause we only have so much time before our wigs burn down to the base and all of our memories fade away. You gotta love with every inch of your heart, be exactly who you are and say everything you need to say, and help all the good people you can along the way. And don't get frustrated at what you cannot change. Enjoy every single moment inside this house of pain, 'cause you feel everything. Please take it away. Please take this away. Just give it away. Just give it away. I'm sure somebody needs it in some other place. Give yourself a holiday. Thank you, guys.
Okay, well, Vince, what do you call that song?
Thanks, guys. Appreciate that.
That's pretty good. People are clapping in the bar.
Thank you.
Okay, that's a good sign, actually.
That is.
We've had people play. We had a guy play a trumpet here, and nobody even looked over.
Oh,
To tell you the truth.
it's probably because of the frequency it was blasting in their ear, not because
So
of the
that,
music.
I would take that as a good sign, Vince, if people
Thank
like
you.
that in the bar.
I appreciate that.
What did you call that song? I'd like to know.
That song is actually called The Empath. It's the title track on the new EP that's going to be releasing this month.
Okay. Now, Alex, you have to give us a professional opinion. What do you think?
I thought that was really good.
Thank you, Alex.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. It means a
Not
lot
just
coming
saying
from
that
you.
because he's
No,
just
not
sitting
saying
there.
that. Like I was sitting there engaged. It was like, man, it's really good.
Yeah, it's a powerful performer.
I appreciate that.
Vince.
Thank you.
It was awesome.
Alex, you have to talk into
Oh,
this
sorry.
microphone.
Yeah,
No, you're
that
not.
was awesome.
Thank you, Alex. That means a lot coming from you, man.
Yeah.
So the Empath is the name of the new record that's coming out?
Yes.
Okay.
It's based off, I'm a very empathic person.
Are
and,
you? What does that actually mean?
Yeah, I feel things, like no
can
matter
pick up-
what's going on, whether it's in my immediate family, friend area, or it's just something that's like got my heart down, or it's something going on the other side of the world. I feel things really strongly to the point where they get to me. They affect me.
You can pick up stuff that's going on the other side of the world. Like if something good is happening, do you feel good?
Yes, exactly. I feel
Wow.
the same. I feel the same. If something good's going on, I feel that awesome, good feeling, but I'm to the point where, especially seeing with how social media drags things through the mud and people make up lies and everybody's mad at everybody all the time, and it's more about appreciation for me. You got to learn to appreciate. If you're hating something or you're constantly angry, you don't have time to look around and appreciate what you really have.
But if you're empathic and you're picking up people's good vibes, not just the bad stuff that's going on,
comes
not just the
both ways.
suffering.
Yeah.
That must be pretty fucking awesome.
It is. It's great.
Wouldn't you like to do that?
I love when I look on Facebook and I see some dog that got rehabilitated and adopted and stuff, and I get a little happy tear from that, just like I get a little sad tear from something that's really stupid and shitty and,
Right. Well, you
So-
think most people don't give a shit about that sort of thing?
I'm not going to say most. I can't say that
I
anybody
don't.
does or
I
doesn't.
scroll past those things all the time. I'm
Most
like,
people,
oh my God.
I guess
I don't
it's
care.
what you're shooting for and what gets your boat.
The thing with the guy where he sees the lion after 20 years and the lion remembers him, or
Yeah, I mean,
or
I-
the dog that rescued the goose, something like, oh, really?
I like feel good stuff.
Do you?
I guess
I
in a
hate that
world full of
Do you
negativity
like that
and
stuff? Do
cynicism.
you guys like that stuff?
I love an unlikely animal friendship.
You
That's
do?
probably not even if you feel good. I just like a bear and a tiger being friends.
Right.
It's up my alley. That's like primo procrastination
Hell
fuel
yeah.
for me. That's-
Alex, do you look at that kind of shit?
I'm a big fan of Air Bud.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Air Bud. the
Empath.
bomb.
What is that? I don't even know what that is.
You don't even you gotta
Wait.
watch it.
I don't even know what it
Golden
is.
Retriever dunks.
Yeah.
He can dunk.
The
Golden
dog that
Retriever
plays
that can-
basketball.
That's
Amazing basketball.
It's like
Okay.
Air Jordan, but it's a dog called Bud.
Air Bud.
Air Bud.
Yeah.
Air Bud. I have
But
never
he
heard
also
of
plays
this.
other sports. He's real Michael Jordan of
He
being.
probably
a dog.
smoked me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very talented.
And
Here's the one thing. My friend brought up this logic. My friend Michelle, that the main reason he plays basketball for a high school, and they're like, there's no rule against it, except that he doesn't go to the school.
the dog.
Yeah. So like that's my favorite argument. They're like,
This
no
is
rule
this a
against
TV
it.
show?
It's a movie.
It's a
I would
movie.
it's real life. This happened.
Oh, I thought this was something
It's like
on
the
Facebook.
Rudy was
Oh, this is a
outside
movie.
no,
Okay.
this is
Yeah,
But
yeah.
It was real. Definitely real.
Yeah, I want to say it's a documentary based on a true story.
Based on a true story about a dog who plays. That sounds pretty good, actually. It's like a stoner movie.
I mean, I don't think it was. I think it was meant to be a family film, but most
Really?
family
Really,
films
yeah, really cool,
translate.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
The Last Bimsy. That was meant to be a children's movie, and it's pretty.
It's a stoner movie. There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
How much pot are you smoking over there at Live Nation?
I don't smoke any pot actually.
None. You have to give that up?
It's not that.
Now you're corporate America.
It doesn't work for me like it did in my younger days.
You had to just sort of gradually stop smoking.
No, I just turned 25 and then it stopped.
Really?
Yeah, I started. Anytime I'd smoke, it'd be like,
Wow.
worrying about why don't I own a house? Why don't I pay insurance? It's like real life stuff. It was
And
like,
people's
okay, this
systems-
Yeah,
is
that's
cool.
horrible.
People's systems do change. I mean,
Yeah.
you're like.
Well, I think the drugs work really well when you don't have anything to worry about, probably.
Yeah,
So-
I would
Yeah.
agree with that.
yeah,
probably.
once you have issues.
Yeah, once you
Acid
have-
is the same thing. You have to stop doing acid at some point because things start looming up out of you. What about ayahuasca? Have you ever done that?
I've never done ayahuasca. No.
You guys ever thought about doing that?
I've never done ayahuasca.
Have
No.
you? It sounds
Yes,
like you
I
have.
put it
Yeah.
in your drink.
I've done some peyote. I've never done any ayahuasca.
Peyote, that's meant to be good. I've never tried that either. That's good. Did you see any?
Yeah, I had a
did
lot
you
of
have any
fun.
revelations? As an empath,
no
that
re-
must have fucked you
no
up.
revelations. I saw a lot of really cool things, and I feel like afterwards, like the day afterwards, I felt like, I don't know,
Shit.
purged and clean.
Oh,
and
really?
My brain was right. Like, I believe it
Wow.
or not, I felt good about it. I felt good about
But there
it.
aren't many things that you feel good the day after about.
Right, especially those kind of things. Hallucinogens the day after. You're like, what did I do? Where did I go?
Well, that's good. Would you do it again?
Under the right circumstance, maybe so.
What would the right circumstance be? How much?
I don't know, hanging out with the Dalai Lama, maybe Alex hanging out
He
with us.
listens to this. He's gonna.
You know,
Yeah, the Dalai Lama is one of our listeners. He's a
knows?
subscriber on Spotify.
I guess it would just have to be. I'd have to be poked at the time and then jump from there.
Right.
3 days in Big Bend National Park.
Oh, hey, we can't hear you, Tom.
That's what I'm talking. Okay, calm.
That would be
calm.
nice.
We'll do this.
Hey, so Vince, before it gets away on us, tell us about this organization you've started up. What's it called? Give It Hell Promotions.
I'm a partner in a company called Give It Hell Promotions, and we're a nonprofit promoter around the city. And we also help with artist development with the local bands. And
So what does that mean? You take people who are looking for help, marketing and
A
stuff,
lot
and
of-
you give it to them for nothing?
No, not really. I mean, a lot of. We don't really charge for our help in the scene. We just want to see the betterment of the scene. So, whether it comes to a band and logo not looking good, or them not having proper merch, or them not knowing the way to go about something, we're always there. Like, if they need to call us, they need us to look over a record contract.
Somebody
if they need us to
really know about contracts.
anything. I mean, I'm not a genius on it, but
What's the legal
Yeah, do you have a
implication?
Legal?
Yeah, I was
Legal
thinking-
team?
No, we're not doing that. But we will, we will assist anybody with any local band that's hardworking and trying, and maybe they don't have the right connections, or they don't have the, somebody that can shoot a proper music video for them, or design good artwork.
What do you do?
or-
You hook it up for them? You shoot a music
we
video? for
figure out the easiest way that we can put them in the position that they want to be in, and give them a choice. Like if we're doing something art-wise, we'll give them a choice between a couple of different artists, or put them in touch with artists and tell them to take care of these guys. They're a hard-working local band. We'll do it.
Well, I can't imagine that there's anyone listening to this who's in a band that wouldn't want to call you and get free shit. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, we're
Frankly.
just. I've been doing this for a really long time. I'm 40 years old now, so I'm just trying to take all the years of, excuse my French, eating shit sandwiches and learning, everything from, local shows to touring to how the business works, and take some of those years and maybe help somebody else saved them 5, 7, 8, 10 years, by...
It's a cool thing to do.
I've gotten a lot of information and a lot of advice from people in my life that told me one thing that totally rocked my world, and then I just stuck with it from that point on and wish that someone would have told me that 10 years ago and I didn't waste my time on it.
Right.
Because, it's discouraging as it is being in a band and playing shows, and sometimes people don't show up, and, it's just... It's nice when... I'm sorry. It's really nice when I guess you have the tools and to create a crowd and to build a crowd and know why.
So can you do that? Can you get someone to show up? Can you get people to show up at a gig? You know how to do that?
Get anybody to show up at a gig.
You know how to do that?
Yeah.
What's the secret?
As good as possible.
It's just social media, or
it's got to be organic. In my opinion, it's got to be organic as well as social media. The people that just depend off social media, it's cool and it works. Don't get me wrong. You can target a certain demographic and you kind of know roundabout about who you're going for. But emails and texts and calls and hey, can you bring a couple of people out tonight, or like some incentives for a show to be a show, rather than just look at these guys show up in their work clothes and play the same 7 songs they've been playing for 8 months straight every day. It's got to be something a little bit more. It's got to make people go, wow, why did I miss that show? Why did I stay home? Damn it.
That's something I would always preach to my clients when I was solely focused on management. Why play 6 shows in a month when you can play 1 show and every 8 weeks and sell 400 tickets versus play to 6 shows and sell 50.
I try not to tell anybody what to do too, but it's science. You can look up on any reference on any website top 10 things local bands do. Right. That is not good. and one of the biggest things is overplaying. And it's like, look, it's fine if
that's interesting. So you can play too much. And you were saying the same thing.
You can definitely play too much. Don't get me wrong. When a band's starting off, in the evolution of it, you got to play all you can. You got to get out there and get a crowd. But once you have that crowd and people follow you and people come out to all your shows, if you're playing once a week, 5 minutes away from each other, that automatically gives them that choice. Oh, honey, we don't have to go tonight. Let's just wait and go next week or the week after even, or the week after that, because they're playing 4 times this month.
Exactly.
It's got to be special.
How does it work in comedy, Laura?
I think that audience members certainly can get burnt out, and I feel like if you're following, I feel like for the local scene, people follow shows a lot more than they follow specific comedians, and so those are like a weekly, a monthly, and they'll go out, but there's definitely the oversaturation thing where you're like, oh, I can see this anytime, so I won't go out at all, versus saying like, this is one really special time, and then you get a huge crowd.
And I'm not saying that don't take an opportunity if it comes up and it's a great opportunity and it's not going to affect the other, but a lot of times, when you're playing 4 times a month, it's not special for your local crowd anymore.
People who go to hear a band, they typically want to hear you play the songs they like when they know. But when you're a comedian, it's the opposite, I suppose. People don't want to hear you do the same thing again.
Yeah, you get people that are repeat fans that they're like, oh, neat, I can recite the punchline word for word, and then you know that you're a little stale and you need to write a little bit more. So,
but how does that work in a small market like New Orleans, where there can't be that many people going out to hear comedy, or are there?
I feel like there's a good crowd building, and there's a website, 504comedy.com, that's started to really like harness all the shows. So if someone wants to, on any random night, go check out a show, the city's not so big that your neighborhood is prohibitive of checking out anything in the city. So I think also the scene's gotten pretty creative with what type of shows there are. So it's not just a classic stand-up showcase every time. There's comedy game shows. Tonight I'm on a roast battle. Like there's just all sorts of things that keep it not just here are my 10 minutes that you've heard.
What's a roast battle?
It's you make fun of the other person and you hopefully win.
Wow. So you get up there and disparage somebody else, and then they get up and disparage you.
Correct.
What do they say? You're fat and ugly?
I don't know what they're going to say yet. I haven't heard his jokes.
Is it supposed to be
if
fun?
he says that, it's pretty unoriginal. I hope he's more creative.
Yeah. So what are you going to say about him?
You've got to find out tonight. I'm not going to spoil it. He could be watching this.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's interesting. And what else do you do? So is that a regular thing? The show's called Beefin', and it's once a month, and it's different. Beefin'.
Yeah, like you're,
I like that.
You're
Where is
beefing
that?
with the other person. It's at Hi-Ho Lounge.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where else do you work?
I host an open mic every Monday night at Bear With Me Mike. It's at 12 Mile Limit, and then just shows all over the city. And again, 504comedy.com is not just promoting me, but all the local comedians that are like really good.
I'll have to look them up.
And I think that's, both of y'all, what y'all were saying is basically you're building a community to where it's not just, the same people coming to hear the same thing. It's, the community itself is building and what's actually driving it, which is kind of the same way it works in our world.
Well, how do you feel then, Alex, when what you're doing is you're part of a gigantic machine? Live Nation owns Ticketmaster. They own hundreds of clubs, like 200 something clubs around the world.
Yeah.
Are you free to actually try and build the local community like this?
Yeah, we do. We have events like Mac and Cheese Fest where, we're booking all local talent.
All right.
NOLA Rocks?
Yeah, we have NOLA Rocks, which is a series that's, been going on for quite a while. And, we also have the Music Forward Foundation where we're, doing seminars with local marching bands and other local musicians.
That's great. That's
so
awesome.
you have freedom within Live Nation to be
local.
local.
They encourage that.
About
we're not sending, we're not booking a show with 40 other people and it's like, all right, guys, this is what it is.
Right.
It's definitely not like that. If it was,
Tipitina's was doing like locals night on Fridays or something.
They're homegrown?
Yeah, they still doing that.
I'm not sure. Do they? I thought I saw Rathbone from the Scorsese's went and played a homegrown night not too long ago. So I think they do.
That was a pretty good thing if they're still doing it. That was free.
Is Wayne Lee over there with you at Live Nation?
No, Wayne. Wayne left, and he's
okay.
He's now doing, I believe, booking for like a riverboat that's starting to do. live
killer,
shows.
man! Yeah, because he used to always be awesome to deal with over at Tipitina's.
Yeah,
he was a man
I
over there.
actually met Wayne through Tipitina's. He would book Earfunk, Flow Tribe, and a lot of George Porter stuff.
Nice, dude.
Yeah,
That's
there's
awesome.
a new riverboat like starting up as like a music venue.
Yeah, and Wayne's doing the booking for that.
That's going to be pretty cool, actually. So you get to go on the boat, and the boat, does it take off? And you?
I'm assuming so. That's kind of what they did during the Jazz Fest late night stuff.
Yeah, the U.S.
well,
and
that
the
sounds like
president.
fun.
Remember the president? As part of the Jazz Fest, you could go on the boat. Remember that?
I don't.
You might be too young.
Yeah, I was about to say this might be.
We were all watching Air Bud.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
watching Three Ninjas.
And before working at Live Nation, you were working at Hooker Entertainment?
So I worked at Hookah Entertainment for 2 years, and then left Hookah to start my own company with a buddy, and I brought the Varsity Theater in Baton Rouge as one of our accounts. We were also doing the booking for Soul Kitchen in Mobile, and
Nice.
then we were managing the new Master Sounds, George Porter, Zigaboo's new project with George, which is Foundation of Funk, and then we co-managed the original Meters reunion that they did.
Oh, that's great. Wow, that's excellent.
Yeah, it was. If you told 16-year-old me I'd be co-managing the original Meters and we were playing
Meters?
Sissy Strut, I wouldn't have believed you.
So you managed the Meters for a while?
I was co-managing them with Ken Sorrell. Yeah.
Wow, that must have been interesting because they're pretty hard guys to wrangle, all of them, and their individual personalities, let alone together. I would think.
George Porter's wife, when we started to get into it, she's like, "Baby, there's two things that's gonna happen before you're done with the Meters. You're gonna have some gray hairs, and you're gonna be on anxiety medicine. I'm just giving you the heads up." And she wasn't too far off.
Yeah, no, that's pretty stressful, I would imagine.
Yeah, no, but it was a great experience, and so grateful for the opportunity, and it's like living out a childhood dream and seeing those guys,
Yeah.
play
And
together.
and the Hooker, are they still going?
No,
they
I'm pretty sure they're no longer operating after
Right.
the Pemberton fiasco.
What was that?
They tried to produce a festival in Canada, and apparently it didn't go so well. They lost a lot of money.
Oh dear.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sucks.
Is it anything to do with being in Canada, or was it just mismanagement? Bad luck.
From what I've read online, it just sounded like bad luck and a lot of spending.
They did that show a couple times, I think, Pemberton.
They canceled the third year right before, like a week before it was supposed to happen.
Well, it's a pretty high risk business putting on.
Yeah, the
show.
festival business is it's super high risk.
Right.
You got to have a lot of capital.
And what happens in your business? I mean, you can't go wrong with the Foo Fighters and Duran Duran and in the first couple of weeks. And then what happens after that? What's the stress level like in your job?
Coming out of the gates, I was tasked with booking 20 shows for our announce, which booking shows 9 months out for artists that aren't necessarily touring.
Wow.
It was a difficult task, but it.
Can you tell us how you do that? I mean, just sort of walk us through the vague process. How do you book a band?
Well, I mean, it depends on the band, but ultimately, I'm reaching out to an agent that I have a relationship with ideas and seeing, hey, are they touring? Are they looking at doing one-offs?
So you pick a name of a band you like.
Yeah. So basically, because we were so far out, like it wasn't like I was getting avails for bands that were necessarily on touring cycles. It was like,
You're just picking something out of the air, like, it'd be great to have.
Yeah,
this band.
yeah.
Like who?
Like Foo Fighters. They're not touring. They're flying in to do just those 2 shows. And
So you call up the Foo Fighters manager or agent and say, hey, it'd be awesome if we get the Foo Fighters together and have them all fly down to New Orleans for a night.
you call up their agent, put together an offer, talk to the team. The team believing in the proof of concept because it was something that hadn't been done before, and wait 8 weeks, and then got a call from the agent that it was going to get done.
Wow,
That's a beautiful call.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was a great call.
Can
Do
you
you ever happy dance after you get a call like that?
I mean,
like
I was,
and then you set the phone down, and then
no, I was like, is this serious? Like, I can go celebrate with my dad tonight and have a steak? Like, is it
Hey, can you tell
Is
us?
this steak serious?
Is this like classified information? But how much would a band like the Foo Fighters get paid to play a night at?
Honestly, it just it varies on.
But would it be like? Is it a? Can you tell us? Can you give us a ballpark figure, or are you not allowed to?
I mean, you can do math. We are
Okay.
we sold 1,849 tickets, or 269.50, and 200, I believe, 43 seats at $399.
I can't do that math. Can you, Laura? Are you good at math?
I think more than we're getting paid for this podcast.
Girls with
for sure.
vision,
Yeah.
women with vision.
But the conception that we're gonna make $1 million on the show, it's like no,
Yeah, people don't know how much cost actually goes into the whole production of a show sometimes. It's insane.
It's like, Live Nation's gonna make $900,000 and the Foo Fighters are gonna make like 100, and it's just like that's just not how the music business
security,
operates.
lights, people.
Yeah, security, lights, people, rehearsals,
The space, whatever, yeah.
staff,
Well, it's a huge amount of expense.
That's
I mean,
crazy.
just keeping the
Oh,
lights
yeah.
on in a building, I'm sure, costs something. But so we have no idea. Well, something like Jazz Fest, for example, how much would those bands get paid? Like a big band at Jazz Fest?
I'm not going to speak on Quint's behalf, but I imagine his
You
headliners.
could just have a stab. Take a stab.
I'm imagining he's paying his headliners, between $750,000 to $1 million, some higher than $1 million.
Higher, you could get paid higher than $1 million to show up at Jazz Fest
Oh yeah,
and play for an hour and a half.
and I'm sure there's plenty of people that are turning down, over $1 million offers because they don't need the money. Once you get to that point, you get to kind of do whatever you want,
Right.
like Fish.
Right.
Yeah. So they pay Fish over $1 million to show. I guess it would be
I
worth it
don't know
because look how many people
I
it
don't know what
drags
they paid
in.
Fish, but if I had to guess, I would say that's a pretty good chance.
Would you book them?
Yeah, if I had an opportunity to book Fish at the Fillmore, I'd book them for a week.
Okay. And why couldn't you do it if you just pick up the phone and call?
Because Fish can do whatever they want.
But maybe they want to do it.
It's possible based on
Can we send you a list of people we'd like?
Sure, I'd
Who
love,
would you like to go see?
I'd love more input.
Would you really?
Yeah, I'm constantly asking.
Okay, we're going around the table.
Staff.
Laura, who would you most like to see at the Fillmore?
I mean, locally, Sweet Crude. I would love to see them in any venue.
Yeah, but they're not hard to book. They could just call them right now, probably, and get them, right?
Well, good.
They could probably.
One Jamiroquai.
Jamiroquai.
I tried to get Jamiroquai.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I applaud you for the effort. At
Yeah.
least.
Yeah.
Well, what did he
Definitely.
say? I don't want the money, or he's not working at all, is he?
He was doing the shows that he was going to do this summer, based around his festivals, and that was it. He wasn't going to be in the
That's
country.
an
and-
unusual pick. Laura, you got another one?
Oh, Lizzo. I saw her for the first time live this year, and she was incredible.
Lizzo. I don't even know who that is. You know who that is, Vince?
Oh, yeah, I've never heard, but I've seen the name.
Who is Lizzo?
She is a artist out of, I think, originally Minneapolis and then Texas, and she raps and sings and is just a badass.
Okay.
Lizzo.
You know her?
I am familiar.
So you have to listen to a lot of music.
A ton of music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thomas, have you got someone who you want to see?
Bring me a reunited Outcast.
Outcast.
That would be amazing.
I saw them a couple
We have a lot
times.
of
So good
those.
live.
That would be amazing.
We had them at Voodoo like 2 years ago.
That was
Right.
a great show.
Probably
Great
wouldn't.
show.
I saw them with Goody Mob twice at the State Palace Theater.
Okay.
State Palace, man. Saw some good shows
Yeah,
there.
great shows there.
That used to be good at the State Palace.
Oh yeah.
They were the good old days. Okay, so who else have we?
Oh, me?
You've got Vince.
Well,
You
if you
got
ask me, I mean, old school. If we're gonna go to an old school band,
no anyone.
Anyone.
Toto, 100%.
Toto.
I want to hear all the deep
could
cuts.
probably go see
Matter of
them
fact, I
at-
got really excited because they apparently have like a Sanger or one of the other theaters we have here in Alabama.
Oh,
I'm not
yeah,
su-
Sanger Theater in
Sanger,
Alabama.
and
Yeah,
I
they
got
both
a
go.
notification. Oh, I saw Toto at the Sanger and immediately went, yes, going, whatever.
Right.
And then I found out like a day later that it was in Alabama, and I was like, oh. God. I'm so crushed right
Isn't that
now.
worth the trip to Alabama? It's not
It
that
would
far
be.
away.
It would
Mobile's a good
be.
town.
It would be.
We've done some shows with the Sanger.
It just creeped.
Nice
It
venue.
crept up on
The
me.
Sanger
but
in Alabama?
It definitely
Yeah,
was.
Mobile. Yeah,
In Mobile. It's not that far, but you didn't
I
go.
know, but I was really excited to see him in my hometown. You don't understand.
Toto.
Really excited to
I
see
wouldn't be there. Is it the same band still, or is it just one guy?
Well,
Bobby, right?
Bobby was the original singer for Toto, but he left him in '86
He's not
or
even in the
something
band,
like
so
that.
it's not even the guy.
It's Brian Williams, who's actually the guy who did the Star Wars soundtrack. John Williams' son.
Okay.
Who is actually
You know
the,
too much
the
about Toto.
vocalist.
I
know
have
Toto
Toto
now.
now. Who knows this much
And they
about
actually
Toto.
just put
This is
out a
amazing.
40th anniversary 40 Trips Around the World CD and recorded 2 brand new songs, and they're awesome. I just want a new record. They're still
Wow.
awesome. They're still,
I think we met the world's biggest Toto fan.
Yeah, you just kind of blew my mind with your Toto facts.
Alex, would you book them? I mean, is anyone going to go see Toto? They're a casino band.
I know of at least one guy.
Vince-
Toto would sell out that arena in 2 seconds.
that
I
right?
will 100% disagree with you.
Really?
Yeah, in my opinion.
Oh, dude, I feel like
Well, your
they would.
opinion is worth something because this is what you do for a living. So,
Yeah,
This is what you
there's
get.
there's a lot of bands people think would sell in an arena that don't.
okay, so what's wrong with Toto? How do
Nothing's
you?
wrong with
no,
Toto.
but I mean, financially, how would you know that?
It's kind of weird, you know. As a talent buyer, you kind of learn by doing, and at Live Nation, there's information that we have available to us because
Right.
of a database.
So
But beforehand, in independent world, all you have access to is Pulsar and like your gut, and it's kind of weird because eventually, after you're doing it for a couple of years, you just kind of know.
So you just have a
instinctively.
feeling that Toto would bomb.
I'm not saying it would bomb. I'm saying it wouldn't sell in
Thomas
the
has
arena.
got an idea.
You name me one other thing besides dun 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 dun.
Rosanna.
I can name like
Come on.
35 of them right now.
Besides the number one thing.
I'm a music fan.
Rosanna,
though.
come on.
Rosanna. That's
I mean,
a huge
hold the
song.
line, Rosanna, I'll Be Over You. I mean, you could go off the singles and stuff like that, but just as a band with the discography like that and like that much talent, I'd pay $100 a ticket with my eyes closed.
But
like it wasn't.
But
nothing.
Alex says they're not.
What do
You're
you
the
think they would
only
do?
one.
What do you think they would put in the arena? You think they'd fill it halfway up or 3/4?
I think they could get close to selling the Fillmore, or more. It'd probably be more of an Orpheum show,
Right,
seated,
right,
I imagine, because the demographic's a little older.
Right. And to be honest, the pop culture resurgence of Toto because of Stranger Things, Africa, all that stuff is kind of big.
Oh yeah, Weezer's worst song ever was a Toto cover.
Yeah, they shouldn't have attempted that. They're not the same band.
Toto.
I love my Weezer because they're Weezer. They're not Toto though.
Yeah.
It's just a total different band.
It is.
And then
Okay.
Toto chose to cover Hash Pipe of all Weezer
Which
songs.
was like the worst cover.
I was like, come on, give me My Name Is Jonas or something cool.
Exactly.
Give me, Tired of Sex, something. But
All right. Hey, listen, it's time for another song, Vince.
Ooh,
We're going
I
to
like
make you.
Do you have a
make you do
Toto
one.
cover that you could
Yeah.
play?
don't tempt me. I would. Not today.
Please play Africa.
No,
We can
I'm
do that
not
after.
doing that.
We can do it after.
I refuse.
We can do it
I'm that
after.
Toto
wait-
fan.
I'll
I
wait for
refuse to play
after.
Africa.
Because it's just cheap
It's like
as Toto.
being the police. Oh, Roxanne, no. There's other songs. No. But
What
I'm learning so much about
in
this.
translation, though, these are usually rocking songs. So we're just kind of taming them a little bit for
Where
the
does,
show.
where does Toto come from? What part of the country?
I'm not sure exactly where they're from.
I
I know
recall
Bobby.
Bobby's from here.
Bobby's from here originally.
From here,
the
from New
first
Orleans.
singer.
Yeah.
I love that you're on a first name basis.
He was actually
Bobby's from
a
New Orleans.
backup vocalist and vocalist for Aretha Franklin, Diana Ross, and Ray Charles, and all kinds of people before he got that gig.
He actually did a recording with like Anders and Ivan and George Porter for the "Take Me to the River."
I'm sure it
thing
killed.
that,
wow.
He's still got a voice like a son of a bitch, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so Alex, before you guys play the song, who would you most like to see? Seeing that you're the person who gets to actually book these and you can make a dream come true. Who would it
I mean,
be?
in a fake universe, an Oasis reunion, that would be.
Okay.
Only at the last song for the fist fight to bust out between the two brothers.
I mean, we could sell the boxing match
Right.
next night.
Dude,
that
that's
would be-
brilliant. That is brilliant.
But at some point they will have to play together again.
I mean, they don't need money. They
They made that much money in the
Yeah,
3
I mean-
years of being famous.
The good
they
time.
were famous for more than 3 years. But
How long were they big for? I mean, it doesn't seem like very long.
90, if I recall, definitely maybe came out in 93, and they disbanded in 99.
So 6 years. Like I was off by 3 years.
Yeah.
So in 6 years you can make enough money, or you could in the 90s, to never
Yeah.
have to work again.
In 1995, they threw their own festival. It's called Nebworth, and they sold 270,000 tickets with them as a headliner. And it was, if I recall correctly from the documentary, over 1.4 million people applied for tickets.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, they had a 7,000 person guest list, which I was just like, Jesus.
Well, they must have some pretty good sort of cash management and investments, because that was a hell of a long time ago now. And
yeah, I mean, that was a lot. That was when you made money off of selling records, you know?
Yeah, now, of course, you have to play live. Now, you're the most important guy in town for a music business, because you're not making any money any other way except playing live, right?
I mean, I'd say the lawyers are pretty important, though, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could be good advice for your new company.
You.
Give a
Save
help
you right
promotion.
there.
Shout out Gangendorf and Provosti.
All right. Okay, guys, what are you playing?
All right, this is a song that's going to be on the debut EP. It's called False Walls.
False Walls. Mm-hmm. I like that. Okay.
All right. When all the waves come crashing in, surrounding your feet, jump head first into the water, swim towards your most honest belief, because fear is the jaded opinion that is given by a frightened man who looks away as he speaks so confidently, but will never truly understand that tomorrow you can die of cancer or of a massive heart attack. Your expedition could get cut short so quickly of some of the most important acts, just like that. So go run and tell the ones you love there's nothing more important than the pack. Discover how to hush your demons with a pride manifested plague that will rot away the eyes and ears and mouth of all the cynical malaise. Maybe we could find out some answers if we could just learn to spit out the fan. Oh, existence is a childlike gesture that just loves doing the juggling act, just like that. You gotta fight the ugly days before they conquer in this life or death combat. Time doesn't slow down for cowards, so face the wrongs that you have done and open up your eyes instead directly through your strongest midday sun. Nothing left to outrun. So now you can turn the pages, change the script, dodge the flurried paper fists, cut the cord on all your load, burn its flesh down to the bone, and remember the strongest fires are still turned to embers. Even the strongest fires will turn into embers sometime. Even the strongest fires will turn into embers sometime. Sometime. Thank you, guys.
Wow. That's pretty intense as well, that one.
Appreciate it.
I noticed
Thank
the words false walls don't appear in the song at all.
No, not at all.
It's an interesting marketing concept.
They're the main idea of the song, but, you know.
Right. I've never heard anyone say that in a song, think that you could get cancer or have a massive heart attack.
Tomorrow.
Straight.
It's true.
Head on.
It's about appreciation. If you don't appreciate what you got while it's here, then, you know, that type of stuff.
So you're like
happens.
a sort of positive type.
I try to
guy.
be in a very negative world. I try to be as positive as possible, you know.
When you hear the music, I mean, we just hear an acoustic version of it, but this is much more sort of, what would you call it? It's more aggressive.
It's definitely
right
a rock
word.
song. They're definitely rock songs.
Right.
The first one was more of a ballad, more of a trancey 90s alt ballad kind of. And, this one is...
You don't hear much in the word
little more-
upbeat rock is what I'm getting at.
yeah, I
Most
mean...
rock is
Are
sort
you
of like...
influenced by AFI at all?
No, not really. My main influences, I guess, I mean, it doesn't may not come out in my singing, but my main influence are definitely Queen and Toto and Maiden and Rush. Those bands kind of raised me. You know,
Okay.
of course, with everybody else in New Orleans, Pantera and all the metal bands and stuff like that growing up. But I kind of grew out of some of that stuff. You know?
Yeah.
Right.
I was just vocally, it reminded me of Davey.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I take that as a
That's a
compliment. Thank you.
compliment, I would
appreciate
say,
that.
too.
Means a lot. I also like Jimmy Eat World a lot. I grew up on Jimmy Eat World and At the Drive-In and the Good Olds and
All right.
At the drive-in, so good.
Laura, how did you get inspired to be a stand-up comedian?
So,
who was it?
speech team kid, and then after I graduated high school and college, I was like, I can't really be a speech team kid forever, and so that's the version that you can be, is you can just keep
Talking.
making people listen to you with a microphone.
I saw a piece of video of you talking
Yes.
about how you were a virgin until you were 23.
That's true.
But I was watching that and I was thinking, like, what compels you to get up in front of people and tell them that sort of thing?
I mean, I think it's the same reason that you have a podcast and the same reason people perform. It's connecting with people. And that's, I
Narcissism.
can't. Yeah, that too.
You think that's
I
what's-
like a lot of attention, and it's one of the healthiest ways I can get it.
You like a lot of attention, but so you
Yeah.
think the best way to get it is to divulge all this very personal stuff about yourself?
I mean, I think I divulge what's funny about myself, and so a lot of
nothing-
times that's personal.
There's not anything particularly funny about when you lost your virginity, and it,
No, the
in
moment
itself.
it happened, it wasn't funny, thank God.
but in and of itself, none of these things are really funny. I mean, the way you say it is funny. The way you
Yeah, but it's like framing human experience, just like writing a song or whatever. You frame your own human experience and then hope that that makes someone laugh or feel emotional or do,
What's it
or
like-
not feel bad about being a virgin until they're 23.
Does it help you? Is it cathartic? Is it therapeutic in some way to tell those stories?
Yeah, I think so. I think it normalizes a certain point of view, or you connect with people. Like, you say a weird thing about yourself that you should be embarrassed about, and then you get 10 people coming up after a show being like, oh, me too, yeah, I had something like that too.
Yeah, but I couldn't do that. I couldn't get up. I mean, I have a microphone now right here. I could do
Yeah.
this. I could do it every week if I wanted to. I couldn't say all those personal things about myself. Could you, Alex?
Why not?
Yeah.
I mean,
You could?
Yeah.
I find
You
that
don't have a problem with that? Vince, would you?
building common ground through, as a comedy fan, transparency is appreciated. And the
Yeah,
more
'cause
transparency, the better. You're not afraid to laugh at yourself.
But it takes a huge amount of courage, I think, to be like that.
I think it takes a certain personality type. Like, I'm not, every time I get on stage, I'm not like, watch me be brave. Like, I don't think it's like a noble thing.
Right.
I think for some people, it's a huge amount of courage. And for some people, I think it's just a weird way their brain was built, that they are like, this is how I need to interact with the world.
Do
And
you
so-
feel like it's yourself you're talking about, or it's a
absolutely.
version of yourself?
I think it's absolutely always a version of me, because I feel like, I don't know, the people that do characters or talk about, they kind of like make up a person, like a Larry the Cable Guy. I
Okay.
don't connect with that as much, because
But
I'm like,
even-
you're not actually living that life. You're making up a person.
Right. But so when you get up and you're yourself on stage, that's
Mm-hmm.
your real self. That's not a persona that you've invented, like, oh my God, my boyfriend just said this. You didn't
No,
make- it's not
usually
all written stuff.
everything I talk about, certainly it can be like exaggerated or framed certain ways to be funnier. Because if I just was like, here's my actual day, no jokes, that wouldn't be a good show. But it's all versions. It's all versions of the truth or things that happen to me.
And
'Cause
do you
otherwise
talk about
it's-
your husband, boyfriend, girlfriends, and whatever?
Yeah, I talk about. I
Like real
usually run
character
jokes by
parents?
my boyfriend, but he met me by seeing me at an open mic, so he knew what he was in for.
I was about to say, that's got to be really scary.
Yeah, I would not want to be.
Yeah.
That must be frightening.
Right?
Yeah. Doesn't he think that everything he does could be end up material?
I mean, that's his problem if he's.
Okay.
I feel like anyone who's dating a singer or songwriter has to be worried that they're like, oh, cool, I'm just fuel for the next emotional song. Like,
Is that
if I-
right, Vince?
I don't.
How many exes have you written songs about?
I never ever write personal. I mean, from personal
Oh,
opinions, but never
that's what
from
I'm
like
talking about.
personal.
Oh,
like
where
I
I'm
write
like, you have
metaphorically,
to.
or I'll tell a story about somebody, but
You
it's
just
never.
said 5 seconds ago, you just said you don't have a problem divulging personal stuff.
Well, I don't, but not in my songs. I try to write
Well, then how
bigger.
do you do it?
I guess bigger than me, something better than me, more interesting than me. I guess.
Right. That's what I would think. That would be, you know.
Not with stand up, it's all about you.
Yeah.
Is it for everybody? There's
no,
some
I
people
think-
who do political stuff? Or?
I think you can do all of those things, but frame it through your own point of view. I just think that I can have a more genuine connection if I'm this is how I am seeing this bigger issue,
right,
versus the feeling of just trying to take someone else's point of view or frame. I don't know. I only know what it's like.
Well, it's still going to be your point of view if you talked about politics or sports.
And I do talk about other I don't only say this is my day in my life.
Right.
That'd be incredible if I could make that funny for this many years.
So do you sit home in a room and write stuff?
Sometimes. I feel I often more take notes and then work it out at a mic.
You do?
Yeah.
So you have an idea what you're going to say, and you get up in front of an audience, behind a microphone, and you make it up.
Yeah.
Shit.
But I have an outline, or when I was first started, I wrote basically little speeches of every exact word I would say, and it turns out those sound like little speeches that you're nervous to give. So now it's more conversational.
That really is brave.
Well, I'm glad you think that I'm a hero.
I do. I could not do that.
It takes a lot of balls.
Yeah.
Or
you do
guts.
that?
Guts. Sorry.
I mean, I couldn't divulge everything, but I mean, everyone knows I'm a weird cat guy. I have 2 cats. It's kind of weird.
Okay, that's nice.
I have a comic to introduce you to who also has 2 cats.
I mean, the names probably aren't as cool as mine. Cat Damon.
Oh, that's awesome. Clever.
5.5-year-old Tabby that's 18.5 pounds.
Okay.
He's a big boy. And then Wiz Khalifa.
Wiz Khalifa. Wiz Khalifa and Cat Damon.
Yeah.
I have to write those down. Hey, so it says on the, they did send me some information about you here. If I can find it. It's got some sort of weird thing at the end. As well as saying you're the youngest guy who's working at Live Nation.
The other weird things? Cool.
Yeah, there's another totally
Shout out
weird
Ashley.
thing.
Other than Cat Damon?
It's a Guinness record.
It says that you're a purveyor of gilded dental wear. I'm glad I've stumped you.
Maybe they're referring to my recent root canal that I had, where I have a gold implant or whatever.
You have a gold tooth.
Yeah, in the back.
Well, a purveyor is someone who sells something, isn't it?
I didn't write that, so I don't know.
I know. I wonder what they're getting at. I thought maybe you sold gold teeth and we could go out with a bang here.
I mean, if so, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I would love. If I could be the Cajun Jew,
the Cajun Jew with the gold teeth,
all gold teeth. Yeah, it'd be awesome. Yeah.
We could call that. We could call today's show that the Cajun Jew with gold teeth, if you want.
I mean, the Cajun Jew with the gold teeth. That
sounds like a nice murder mystery.
You can you say with goals. That's fine.
Okay, so I wonder who wrote this about you. Someone at Live Nation who's the PR person, I guess.
No, she's probably around here somewhere.
Okay. Well, you could ask her what she went. The purveyor of gilded.
Yeah, usually it's a purveyor of fine spirits because I collect bourbon.
You collect bourbon?
Oh yeah.
Not to drink it, just to look at it.
I drink it. But I collect it.
You collect it to look, to drink it.
Yeah. I mean, what's the point of having it if you're not going to drink it and share it with people? To me, that's like.
Is that called a collector? I think that's called an alcoholic.
I guess if I drank every day, maybe, but
you don't drink it every day?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, you don't?
No.
So you just find expensive or good
I find hard to find bourbon, and then I like to share it with friends.
Okay, that's cool. Where do you find hard to find bourbon?
It's developing relationships with stores and people, and
Hey, so do people bribe you to get gigs?
No.
They can send you a bottle of expensive.
That'd be.
Dude,
I mean, they don't send you a bottle of expensive bourbon.
Would you like a grill?
They don't send you a bottle of expensive bourbon and say, hey, what about booking my band?
The only thing I ever received is once at the Varsity Theater, a guy who didn't even include the name of his band sent me a $20 Chili's gift card.
That's nice.
But it didn't even have the name of the band, so I was like, all right, sweet,
I guess that's why he's...
I don't even know who it was.
Unknown.
Yeah.
He's sending
that
people
was the Foo Fighters.
Dave Grohl sending me. Please go to some Chili's.
Hey, before we get out of here, guys, I just want to thank Basics Swim and Gym for making today's show possible. We can get a full range of fashion swimsuits, workout, and yoga clothes with style. Basics Swim and Gym is next to the lingerie store Basics Underneath on Magazine Street near Jefferson Avenue. And thanks to Hangover Destroyer, the only all-natural product medically proven to prevent a hangover. Go to hdestroyer.com and write Happy Hour on the coupon code and get 30% off of Hangover Destroyer. And you too can seize the dawn. And thank you also to the Positive Vibrations Foundation, who create and encourage community through the development and preservation of the arts, music, culture, and heritage. And if you'd like to be a member of our Patreon family for as little as $1 a month, you can be a part of Happy Hour's Patreon family. Just go to patreon.com and look for It's New Orleans Happy Hour. And Andrew Duhon is not here this week. He's going to be back in a couple of weeks. But you can go listen to his new record, False River. It's kind of like False Walls, except it's liquid.
Sounds great. I heard
It's a great album.
great.
And you can find that anywhere you can steal music, or you can even buy it.
Shout out Josh
Possibly.
Hefner. He works with him.
He does?
Yeah, Josh Hefner from Royal Teeth is music attorney. He works with
Ah,
Andrew.
okay.
Great record.
That is a great record, isn't
Yeah.
it? Hey, you should book Andrew there at the Fillmore. Good idea.
I
Did you get his Chili's gift card?
He did not give me a Chili's gift card.
You sure that
I
wasn't
mean,
for him?
in 2018, I think I'd probably prefer TGI Fridays, get more bang for my buck.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do we have a Friday? See, I don't even admit it.
I'm sure there's one in Metairie.
Is it good?
Is it still
I
there?
don't know, but
I've never been.
Just one of them.
actually, we had an earphone
Still
meeting
there?
one time. Maybe it was an Applebee's. But somewhere there was just
There was
ridiculous.
an Applebee's in Harahan for sure. I went there
There's one
after
on
Katrina when it was the only
It was
thing.
on Vets. We went to
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Was
It
it?
was something
Right
with like
by
the most
Houston's.
ridiculous specials, and it was all just disgusting. And we're like, why did we do this?
Oh, it is
9
disgusting.
This isn't
meals
even
for
funny.
It is
$22.
disgusting.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys, we've got to get out of here. Laura Sanders, thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you.
Where do we see you in the short, near term, I should say?
Check out 504comedy.com. I have 3 shows this week, and you can see me. On
Okay,
those.
504comedy.com.
And then if you don't like me, you can see other comedians you like.
Okay, well, that's a good point. And Vince Ebeir and Roman Duffar from Spylights. We can find you at some Spylights music.
We will be booking really soon, but I'd rather everybody come to this benefit we have at the Howlin' Wolf on November 23rd.
Glad we slipped that
Give
in.
It Hell Promotions and 92.3 Gnarly Barley and the Howlin' Wolf are all presenting a benefit for the Panhandle, for all the people affected by the storm.
For the hurricane.
So on November 23rd, there's going to be 8 bands, and it's going to start at 8 o'clock, and it's going to go all the way to midnight, and we're going to raise some money for some people.
Just tell us one more time the date and place.
November 23rd at the Howlin' Wolf. It's going to be 2 rooms. We're going to have both rooms.
23rd at the Howlin' Wolf.
Friday
Okay,
night.
Thanks. Friday
Yeah.
night.
Good
Okay.
cause.
Alex Bowen, thank you so much for being here. We
Thanks
look
for
forward to
having me.
giving our free tickets to
You
Fillmore,
yeah, you know,
our
you know who to
VIP
email.
passes.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll give you our email addresses at the end of the show.
Perfect.
I would love that.
And the
code.
Fillmore is open. It opens in
February 15th,
2019.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. In the
Well, thanks very
meantime,
much.
check out all that stuff we have at House of Blues and Varsity Theater and
all right.
venues all around the city.
Guys, thank you so much for being here.
Rock and roll. Thank
Have
you,
a great
brother.
Thanksgiving,
Thank you,
everybody.
brother.
That's our show for today. Our producer is Graham DePonte. Our music producers are Christian Unruh and Monique Pyle. Thomas Walsh is our technical director. And Asher Griffith is our Facebook Live feed director who put this whole thing, hello, it's the phone, put this whole thing on Facebook. And if you listen to this as a podcast and you want to see it on Facebook, go to our It's New Orleans Facebook page and you can scroll down till you find it. Our theme music was written by and is currently being played by Mitch Foreman, and our fact checker and social media corrector is Andrew C-Rock. C-Rock, if you'd like to be on our show, you can stay upright for about 60 minutes while drinking alcohol. Drop us a line. Our address is on our website, itsneworleans.com. We can also check out many other hours of Happy Hour that we recorded previously, as well as some other shows we make around here, including Out to Lunch with Peter Raschuti, live from Commander's Palace, Louisiana Eats with Poppy Tooker, and our award-winning podcast about death called Death the Podcast. You can also find other great Louisiana podcasts at itsacadiana.com and itsbatonrouge.la. You can keep up with us on Facebook and a bunch of other time cycling social media as well, like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. On all of it, we're called It's New Orleans. You can find photos from this show on itsneworleans.com and on our It's New Orleans Facebook page. These photos were taken today by Jill Lafleur. You can find more of Jill's photos at lafleurphoto.com. If you listen to this on your favorite podcast app, thanks for subscribing to us. Take a moment to rate and review us. That helps other people find us. If you listen to us on Spotify, you can follow us and get Happy Hour delivered each week. This show is recorded live today at Wayfare on Ferret Street in Uptown New Orleans. Happy Hour is a production of I Know Broadcasting for itsneworleans.com. For Andrew Duhon and everyone else around the table here at Wayfare, back at our office in I Know Broadcasting, thank you for joining us. We're taking next week off because it's Thanksgiving. Have a great Thanksgiving. We'll be back here the week after that. I'm Grant Morris. I'll see you back here then for more Happy Hour.
Pros, with the supplies you use most, start with Lowe's. Because Lowe's stocks the right quantities you need for any size job, like treated lumber, fencing, and decking. Load up on savings when you buy in bulk and get up to 30% off select 80-pound bags of Quikrete or Sacrete. Plus, get 5% off eligible purchases every day with your Lowe's business credit account. For other great benefits Lowe's offers pros, stop by and talk to your dedicated pro team today. Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Subject to credit approval, can't be combined with other credit offers. Exclusions apply. See store for details. U.S. only.